Thank you. The following is one of my voiceover demos. If you're a voiceover artist and you would like to advertise one of your demos on my podcast, please send an MP3 to thedrill12, all one word, at gmail.com. That's thedrill12 at gmail.com. Back in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Caesar's Palace for 12 rounds of boxing. In the red corner, from Los Angeles, California, wearing the red trunks with the gold trim, weighing in at 125 pounds, the lightweight champion of the world, Danny Little Red Lopez. Well, Bill, our winners get a home theater receiver. That's right. Experience the full potential of high-definition video with this 72-channel digital home theater receiver from Yamaha. But wait, that's not all. They also get a 5.1-channel surround sound system from Mirage. With 5 palm-sized speakers and a compact subwoofer cube, the MX 5.1 brings you huge immersive sound with Mirage's omnipolar technology. All from the Spiegel catalog, Chicago, Illinois, 60609. And they're taking closer order as down the stretch they come. Mr. Hot Stuff has 3 lengths to make up with chocolate candy last. On the rail, take the points behind that gallant son with chocolate candy gaining on the outside. In the lead is Pioneer of the Nile being tackled by chocolate candy. They're neck and neck as they come to the wire. And Pioneer of the Nile holds off chocolate candy and wins the Santa Anita Derby. And now, on your feet, time to greet holder of 14 NBA titles, your home team, your Los Angeles Lakers. Number 3 at 6'8", 5th year out of UCLA, playing forward, Trevor Ariza. Starting at center, number 17 at 7 feet, 4th year out of St. Andrews High School, Andrew Bynum. And at guard, number 24, 6'6", 13th season out of Loyal Marion High School, Kobe Bryant.
I'm in Brooklyn now. I'm walking in Brooklyn, and this older Hasidic Jewish man approaches me, and he goes, "My son, can you come to my apartment and turn off the light?" Because it was the Sabbath, and during the Sabbath, they can't use electricity. And how is Israel winning? Right? I don't mean to define, but like, their kryptonite's sundown? Come on.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, Trump Tuesday, September the 10th, and this is The True Conservative. Welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. So today, after the Serenity Prayer and the patriotic song of the day, we will have the patriotic shorts, motivation, Bishop Barron, Ayn Rand, the 33 strategies of war, and Donald Trump. All that and more when I get back. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I should not change, the courage to change the things I should, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Thank you. Now, Varney and Company.
Company is up now. Hi, Stu.
Good morning, Cheryl, and good morning, everyone. Yes, it is debate night, but we start today with another attack on America's big tech companies. Yeah, the Europeans are at it again. Apple fined $14 billion for back taxes in Ireland. Apple obeyed the rules at the time, but they are big and powerful, and the Europeans just can't handle that. Google fined $2.4 billion. What did they do? They gave their own shopping recommendations an advantage over rivals in search results. Of the top 50 technology companies in the world, only 4 are European. They make up for that by taking billions off American companies. All right, let's get to the debate. This is the first time Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have met. The stakes couldn't be higher. There are reports that the Harris camp is scrambling to respond to what they believe will be Trump's attacks on her policies. Make no mistake, the media supports Harris. A stream of negative headlines, especially in the New York Times, and an investigation by Media Research finds ABC News, the debate host, runs with almost exclusively anti-Trump reports. The debate is 12 hours away. To the markets, not much movement for stocks after solid gains Monday. The Dow up maybe 50 at the opening bell, Nasdaq up maybe 60. The yield on the 10-year Treasury remains above the 2-year yield, 369 right now. That's right, on the 10-year is 369. Where's the 2-year at the moment? It is 366, 10-year above the 2-year. Oil down to $68 a barrel. Gas keeps on edging lower, down another cent for regular at $3.26, and it's still 11 states with a $2 handle at the pump. Diesel, $3.64. On the show today, massive fraud in the COVID unemployment insurance program. Serious money diverted. Blackouts in California. The Wall Street Journal calls it lights out in La La Land. The problem is the mandate that utilities must get away from fossil fuels. Those blackouts will spread. And the SpaceX rocket takes off with 4 astronauts. They'll go 870 miles up and conduct the first private space war. All is going well. It is Tuesdays. Okay, here I am. It is Tuesday, September the 10th, 2024.
And so that was Varney and Company. Back in a minute. Thank you. This is my take, Ron's take, on the news. The interesting part of the news that Mr. Varney gave to us was the lowering of oil prices and the lowering of gas prices just before the election. This is the same thing that happened in 2022 when we were expecting this big red wave. And the red wave was going to come because there's expectations that the economy was sinking and that we were going to be soon in a recession, and so everybody was poised to vote Republican. But it didn't happen. We ended up with a slim majority in the House and no majority at all in the Senate. Part of that is Senator Mitch McConnell's fault for the way he allocated resources for the various races. But the other part of this was that as we went into that voting situation, Election Day, the economy the indicators for the economy were improving. Gas prices were coming down. Prices on other items, prices on oil was coming down. So it gave the illusion that the economy was actually better than what it really was. And we start seeing that pattern again here, where all the information that we're getting is to make us think that the economy is better than it was, and so therefore we should stick with the status quo, i.e. the Biden administration. Back in a minute. Thank you, and now the Patriotic Short.
While serving as a machine gunner, Private First Class Robert Jenkins was part of a 12-man reconnaissance team stationed at Fire Support Base Argonne, just south of the DMZ. Early on the morning of March 5, 1969, the Marines came under sudden attack from a North Vietnamese Army platoon armed with grenades, mortars, and automatic weapons. Without hesitation, Private Jenkins and another Marine quickly moved into a two-man fighting position and opened fire, laying down accurate machine gun fire on the enemy. In the midst of the battle, a North Vietnamese soldier managed to throw a grenade directly into their position. Instantly recognizing the danger, Private First Class Jenkins grabbed his fellow Marine and pushed him to the ground before throwing himself on top of him to shield him from the blast. Absorbing the full impact of the detonation, Private Jenkins was seriously injured and subsequently succumbed to his wounds. For his selfless act, which saved the life of a fellow Marine, Private First Class Robert Jenkins was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor.
And that was the patriotic short. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, a little bit of motivation.
You gotta find something within. So I need you to do me a favor, guys. I need you to win. Until you know what you want, you will not get good rest. If you don't know what you want, then you've not begun to live yet. You gotta find something within, and that's gotta push you, and that's gotta elevate you, and that's gotta drive you, and that's gotta move you. And when you find out what your why is, and your why gotta be deeper than you. When you find your why, you don't hit snooze no more. When you find your why, you find a way to make it happen. There is no excuse for not living up to your fullest potential. No excuse. And I can't explain it, but you better feel me. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. What changed? I changed. And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying, I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said, I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power. Every single day, I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. Do not say, this is going to be a part of my life because somebody told you it was going to be a part of your life. You need to start rejecting some of the stuff people telling you. You need to stop embracing it. Just because they said it, it doesn't mean it's true for you. Just because you don't believe, just because you're going to be in poverty, just because your marriage ain't going to work out, just because your kids aren't going to be successful. I'm not owning that. That's not my life. And the reason why I say it's my fault, even when it's not my fault, because when I say it's your fault, I give you power. I give you control over my life. And I will never give another human control over my life. It's my fault. It's my problem. I'm coming up with a solution for it. Can we try? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of y'all, you're not even trying. You don't even try to do it. You've given up before you even tried. I'm taking ownership. You get to determine how you live. You live life on your terms. Go again, will your way through it. Some things you can skill yourself through. Some stuff you gotta will your way through. And where there is no struggle, there is absolutely no progress. I will. Come on, I will. Come on, I will. I must.
Thank you. And now the Daily Stoic.
March. Awareness. Where philosophy begins. An important place to begin in philosophy is this: a clear perception of one's own ruling principle. Epictetus, Discourses, 1.26.15. Philosophy is intimidating. Where does one start? With books? With lectures? With the sale of your worldly possessions? None of these things. Epictetus is saying that one becomes a philosopher when they begin to exercise their guiding reason and start to question the emotions and beliefs and even language that others take for granted. It is thought that an animal has self-awareness when it is able to fully recognize itself in a mirror. Perhaps we could say that we begin our journey into philosophy when we become aware of the ability to analyze our own minds. Can you start with that step today? When you do, you'll find that from it we really come alive, that we live lives, to paraphrase Socrates, that are actually worth living.
And that was the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, Bishop Robert Barron.
Stop running away from the hound of heaven. Right, that line from the marvelous Francis Thompson poem. I fled him down the nights and down the days. I fled him down the years. I fled him down the labyrinthine ways of my own mind. That's the soul that's running from God. But God isn't just out there waiting for us. He's the hound of heaven galloping after us. All right, stop and let yourself be found. That's the point.
And that was Bishop Robert Barron. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, the Ayn Rand thought of the day. Quote, observe the paradoxes built up about capitalism. It has been called a system of selfishness, which, in my sense of the term, it is. Yet, it is the only system that drew men to unite on a large scale, integrate countries, and peacefully to cooperate across national boundaries, while all the collectivist, internationalist, one-world systems are splitting the world into balkanized tribes. Unquote. That's Ayn Rand from Global Balkanization from the book The Voice of Reason. Back in a minute. Thank you. Now, the 33 strategies of war.
To defeat the passive-aggressive warrior, you must first work on yourself. This means being acutely aware of the blame-shifting tactic as it happens. Squash any feelings of guilt it might begin to make you feel. These types can be very ingratiating, using flattery to draw you into their web, preying on your insecurities. It is often your own weakness that sucks you into the passive-aggressive dynamic. Be alert to this. Second, once you realize you are dealing with the dangerous variety, the smartest move is to disengage. At best, to get the person out of your life, or at the least, to not flare up and cause a scene, all of which plays into his hands. You need to stay calm. If it happens to be a partner in a relationship in which you cannot disengage, the only solution is to find a way to make the person feel comfortable in expressing any negative feelings toward you and encouraging it. This may be hard to take initially, but it may diffuse his or her need to be underhanded, and open criticisms are easier to deal with than covert sabotage.
And that was the 33 strategies of war. Back in a minute. Thank you. So you may as well, if you're a Democrat, you may as well consider at least voting Republican, because in the state of California, one of the big shots in the Democrat Party, Gloria Molina, just switched parties, went from Democrat to Republican. And what's remarkable about that in the state of California is that the Democrats own this state. They have majorities everywhere. And so for a Democrat, particularly Gloria Molina, who has been in California politics for quite a long time, to switch parties is saying something. So, and also, Mr. Alan Dershowitz is leaving the Democrat Party. He announced that today, and he's not becoming a Republican. He's going to become an independent, but still, the Democrat Party is losing a lot of people. So you as a Democrat voter might want to consider voting Republican. Back in a minute. Thank you. This is Maria Bartiromo, and this is a woman that one of their contributors, and she says a little something that you need to hear.
Record to back it up. Kamala she doesn't have the policies to back it up. And yes, to the Israel conversation, college students are heading back to campus this fall. They have a right to attend their classes free from the chaos of these anti-Israel protesters. That is the duty of university administrations to uphold this. At Campus Reform, we've reported a growing trend of universities putting new policies in place to fight back against these anti-Israel protesters, but it seems like it's 6 months too late because it was back in the...
Well, she's going to go on and on and on. I was waiting for her to take a breath so I could stop this rather gracefully. But anyways, the point that you need to hear there was when she said the students have the right to go to school free from anti-Semitic things. Let me see if we can play it again.
City administrations to uphold...
Let's try this. There we go.
To the Israel conversation, college students are heading back to campus this fall. They have a right to attend their classes free from the chaos of these anti-Israel protesters.
There we go. Free from the right to be free from. It's bullshit. It sounds good. It sounds very good, but it's crap. There is no such thing. She can't point to anything anywhere that gives anybody the right to be free from anything. And so when you do that, when you make that kind of a declaration, then you set the government up to usurp authority that belongs to the people of the United States. This is where the government starts to assert rights, quote unquote. If the people have the right to be free from, we have the right to enforce that or to make that happen. And to create laws and mechanisms whereby we can make sure that they're free. The problem with all these freedom froms is that they're always in direct conflict with the Bill of Rights. So if it's a speech kind of an issue, then it's always going to be in conflict with the First Amendment. And that's what I expect in this particular case. You have the Jew haters have the right to speak, and they have the right to hate whoever it is that they want to hate. That's their God-given right, and they have the right to express that. But what they don't have is the right to stop or block or frustrate somebody else's rights. That's the approach that Republicans and conservatives should be taking with the campus issues. Whenever they're blocking, they take over a building, they're blocking people's ability to express and satisfy and use their God-given, constitutionally guaranteed rights. If you shout people down, you are stopping them from freely expressing themselves. You're not promoting the First Amendment, you're subverting it. And that's if the government wants to do something useful, then simply enforce the law. There's the law's First Amendment, freedom of speech, and when protesters, right, left, or center, come in and actively deny other people the right to speak, they are violating those civil rights, and they must be prosecuted. That's the way to approach this. If you start prosecuting these protesters for civil rights violations, all of this kind of thing is going to go away. There's no problem with them as long as they're obeying the university's rules, because university property, to come in and express their hatred. We hate Jews, okay? As long as you're doing this, again, with the permission of the university, and you're not frustrating the exercise of other people's rights, you're okay. But once you cross the line and you start frustrating other people's rights, then you deserve to be prosecuted. Back in a minute. Thank you. And now, from the 13 Forgotten Mind Control Secrets, Chapter 13, The Art of Deception, 13 and a half minutes long.
Chapter 11, The Art of Deception. Deception refers to intentionally misleading or causing someone to believe something untrue. It involves creating a false impression or manipulating information to influence perceptions, opinions, or actions. Deceptive language, on the other hand, is the use of words or expressions that conceal or distort the speaker's true intentions. It encompasses various linguistic strategies, such as ambiguity, omission, euphemisms, and manipulation of tone, disguised to mislead or manipulate the listener. Deceptive language can be employed for personal gain, persuasion, or to conceal unfavorable information. In essence, deception involves intentional falsehoods or misleading actions, while deceptive language focuses specifically on the linguistic tools and techniques used to achieve deception. Both concepts play a significant role in mind control, influencing how individuals perceive and interpret information in various contexts. This chapter provides valuable information on one of the most powerful tools you need as someone seeking to influence and control others. It explores the techniques and tactics skilled manipulators employ to obscure the truth and mold perceptions. Building on our understanding of the psychology of words and influence, we now peer into the darker side of communication. Deceptive language isn't just about falsehoods. It's a sophisticated craft that involves carefully chosen words, omissions, and strategic misdirection. Expect an in-depth analysis of deceptive language. We'll dissect real-world instances of cunning communication. Through the layers of deception in these examples, you'll be privy to the mechanics of deceptive language. Each example is a lesson that illustrates how language can be manipulated to serve hidden agendas. The chapter then pivots to how you can utilize deception tactics with a unique perspective on the strategic use of deceptive language. Where do we start from? Let's begin this chapter by discussing what deception entails and why it's something necessary. Examples of deceptive language. The language of deception is effective due to the covert manipulation of linguistic elements. Unbeknownst to many, it often operates in the background of our interactions. Today, deceptive language has become so ingrained in everyday communication that it may appear normal or go unnoticed. Euphemisms, for example, are commonly used in various contexts, and their deceptive nature might not be immediately apparent. Those skilled at mind control typically use deceptive language to target psychological and emotional triggers. This psychological manipulation can create cognitive biases that cloud judgment and hinder the ability to critically assess the communication. It also leads to emotional reactions overriding rational analysis. Using deceptive language provides a cloak of ambiguity and control, allowing you to manipulate situations and people to their advantage. First, it offers a means of maintaining control over information and interactions. This will enable you to dictate the narrative and redirect conversations and actions in ways that serve you while concealing your true motives. Secondly, Deceptive language allows you to avoid accountability for their actions. Ambiguity, equivocation, and selective omission provide a shield, enabling you to evade responsibility and deflect scrutiny. You can sidestep consequences for your actions by obscuring the true nature of your intentions. Loaded language and flattery are two powerful tools for manipulating emotions. They allow you to capitalize on the emotional impact of words to influence others. This creates a sense of trust or doubt as it suits you. You'll find mastering the language of deception incredibly helpful if you're seeking personal gain at the expense of others. You can navigate conversations through diversion or selective omission to secure financial, social, material, etc. advantages. The best thing about using deceptive language for covert persuasion is that you can continue to maintain a favorable image. Euphemisms and carefully crafted language can help maintain a facade of respectability. They allow you to conceal darker intentions or actions behind a veil of socially acceptable terms. Examples. One prevalent aspect of the language of deception is ambiguity. Deception involves using vague or imprecise language to create confusion or allow multiple interpretations. This intentional fuzziness prevents your listeners from pinning down a specific meaning, leaving room for manipulation. For instance, if you're a political figure, you might use ambiguous terms when addressing a controversial topic to appeal to a broad audience without committing to a clear stance. Omission is another way to utilize deceptive language. Leaving out crucial details or selectively presenting information allows you to shape a narrative. For instance, think of yourself as a salesperson who highlights the benefits of a product, but conveniently omits potential drawbacks. Omission creates a skewed perspective, influencing the target's decision-making process. The best thing about the absence of these details is that omission always goes unnoticed unless the other person actively seeks a comprehensive understanding. This selective omission can be used to create incomplete or biased perspectives. Deceptive language often employs euphemistic expressions to cloak negative aspects in more palatable terms. Euphemisms play a role in softening harsh realities or uncomfortable truths. For instance, downsizing may be emphasized in corporate settings as right-sizing to mitigate the negative connotations associated with job cuts. Manipulation of tone is another subtle yet effective tactic. To deceive someone else, you might modulate their tone to convey a specific emotional undertone that influences their response. Changes in tone or the strategic framing of information can be challenging to detect, especially when presented within the flow of a larger conversation. You can take advantage of this to influence emotions and perceptions without overt signs of manipulation. A news report, for example, might use a somber tone to magnify the gravity of an incident, potentially swaying the audience's emotional reaction and perception of the event. Additionally, framing is a powerful aspect of the language of deception. As you've learned in an earlier chapter, how information is presented significantly impacts how it is perceived. It is possible to frame issues to influence the listener's interpretation. A company facing a scandal might frame its response to emphasize corrective actions rather than acknowledging wrongdoing, redirecting attention and shaping public perception. Understanding these elements of the language of deception equips you with the tools to utilize deceptive language effectively. You can steer a conversation in any direction by honing your ability to use ambiguity, omissions, euphemisms, manipulative tones, and framing in communication. How to utilize deceptive tactics. In using deceptive language, you must adapt your strategies based on the specific situation and your target audience. This adaptability, combined with creativity in language use, will make it challenging to consistently predict or identify deceptive patterns. Here are some examples of deceptive language at play. Equivocation. This involves using ambiguous language that allows for multiple interpretations. It gives you a deceptive advantage. You can capitalize on the vagueness, leading your target to draw assumptions that align with your intentions. Example, statement. I did not take anything from your desk. Deceptive language. The speaker uses the word take to suggest physical removal, while they may have borrowed or copied something without explicit permission. Euphemism. Euphemisms involve substituting mild or vague expressions for more direct or unpleasant ones. You can downplay the severity of a situation by employing positive or neutral terms that softens potential adverse reactions. Example, statement. The project has encountered a few setbacks. Deceptive language. The use of setbacks downplays more severe issues, such as significant failures or mistakes, softening the impact of the information. Ambiguity. Using ambiguous language introduces uncertainty into the conversation. That gives you a leeway to evade commitment or responsibility. It can create a deliberate lack of clarity, allowing for flexibility and interpretation based on the audience's perspective. Example, statement. I might consider your proposal. Deceptive language. The vague use of might creates uncertainty about the speaker's commitment, leaving room for interpretation without a clear commitment. Selective omission. This deception tactic involves leaving out specific details or aspects of information to present a skewed version of reality. By withholding specific information, you can guide your target's perception in a particular direction. Example, statement. The budget report shows positive trends. Deceptive language. The speaker omits details about specific negative aspects within the budget report, providing an incomplete and biased view. Flattery. Combining flattery with criticism involves praising an individual before introducing a more critical perspective. This method maintains a cheerful facade while subtly conveying disapproval or reservations. Example, statement. Your idea is brilliant, but I wonder if it might be too advanced for our current needs. Deceptive language. The initial praise is followed by a subtle critique, masking criticism with positive language. Loaded language. This tactic involves using language with strong emotional connotations, which influences your listener's perception. As in the example below, the use of quotation marks adds an extra layer by implying skepticism or judgment, shaping the audience's interpretation. Example, statement. He's a freelancer, you know. Deceptive language, using quotation marks around freelancer, implies skepticism or disapproval, subtly influencing the listener's perception of the person mentioned. Diversion. Diversion is used to redirect attention away from a potentially damaging topic. You can avoid directly addressing or taking responsibility for an issue by subtly proposing a shift in focus toward a more neutral or positive aspect of the situation. Example, statement. Let's not focus on who made the mistake. Instead, let's find a solution. Deceptive language. By redirecting attention away from accountability, the speaker avoids addressing the specific issue. These examples showcase how deceptive language operates through subtleties, manipulation, and the strategic use of words to convey a particular impression or agenda. The next chapter explores the power of storytelling as a mind control tool. Let's discover how you can craft compelling stories and metaphors to influence others' behaviors.
And that was Chapter 11, The Art of Deception, from the 13 Forgotten Mind Control Secrets by Ronald Gill. Back in a minute.
Donald Trump a felon. So is Malcolm X. He filed bankruptcy. So did Abraham Lincoln. He got shot. So did Tupac. He got 3 baby mamas. I got 2. He a nigga now.
I've never voted for Trump, but I will be this year. And
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry. I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Because?
Because it has to change.
Yeah.
It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person, rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So,
what do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she phony and fake. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like Trump saying, what are you? So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it. I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high.
Fake news, CNN, and the rest of the news station want you to believe that Kamala Harris is in close race with Trump. Trump is kicking her ass in every situation that has ever been possible. Detroit, Michigan have already rejected her. So do not believe that. They are not for Kamala Harris. They already said they're not. We already got the information off of here. They want you to believe that they're in close race. So when they try to cheat and steal this election, you won't question it. We better not let that happen. Let this sink in. People that has been voting Democrat their whole entire life has switched over to the Republican Party and is voting for Trump. That should tell you everything. That should tell you everything you need to know. I don't care if Putin is endorsing her. Of course he wants to endorse the weakest link. He want to be able to have his hands here in America. He already been trying to invite us over there. We don't want to go, sir. We're good. We rather fight for our own country and make it better than to come over to your country so you can tell us what the fuck to do. Sir, we're good. Thank you for the invitation, but we kindly decline. That woman is not in close race with Trump. Trump is the truth. And when I tell you that, y'all, don't let them steal this time. We better not let them do this. And if they do, we better get in a nice little uproar and let them know exactly. I say if they do, don't confine to nothing they do. Don't buy another motherfucking thing.
Even into politics, but you know that Democrats screwed up when even the hood is voting red. Check these videos out.
Kamala, or is it going to be Trump? And why Kamala or why Trump?
Trump.
Why you want to put Trump?
They're going to make the economy lit again.
Okay, so you're looking for that good stimulus. Something like it? Something similar to it?
Nah, I get money. I don't need that government assistance.
What do you think about Kamala?
She a puppet on a string. Just tap dancing.
I'm going for Trump.
Why y'all voting for Trump this year?
Trump is going to do the right thing.
Can I just ask you who you voting for, who you not voting for, why you not, or why you are
voting for my man Trump?
What about Kamala?
Oh, hell no. She's not even a thought.
Donald Trump. That's my president for sure.
Not Kamala?
Kamala? She not doing shit.
Yeah, but what about Kamala being the first woman of color? Not of black color, but of color.
I feel like
she capping. Talking everything. We're putting it all on the table.
Talking Trump then. I'm a Donald Trump fan. I love his leadership. He's here to fight for us, and he's going to do whatever he can to make it right.
We are losing Michigan, guys, and I am afraid and uncomfortable by that.
I've been out here knocking on doors and talking to people, and the responses that I am getting, I can't believe it's so many black people that believe Trump is going to save your life over a stimulus check, bro.
So as you saw and heard there, she said she was about to cry because she cannot believe the amount of black people who said they're voting for Trump because of a stimulus check.
You better thank a union member for your sick time. You better thank a union member for your paydays off. Because on my days off, I'm about to cook me a mean pot of greens. And I'm going to wash them in the bathtub where all the ass and coochie juice at. Because that's what us black folk do. Yep.
May it be. People don't do research anymore. But once she win, she'll shut the haters up. Okay, question. What research have you done? What research have you done? Have you been to her website to see that she doesn't have any policies on there? And every time she tells us she's going to do something, she never has a way that she's going to do it. Have you not heard her flip-flopping? One minute she says she's not going to do something only for black people, and then the next minute she's talking to Al Sharpton and saying that she's going to give black people reparations. You didn't hear her say that she will definitely ban fracking, and then later on, I will not ban fracking. She's flip-flopping so that she can get your vote. You know what I'm saying? She's telling you anything that you want to hear so that you can vote for her. But let's be honest. The past years have been shitty. Taxes high, gas high, food high. They taking all of these taxes out of American citizens' checks and giving it to illegal immigrants. And those illegal immigrants are coming from other countries under the condition that, hey, you can get out of jail, but you're going to have to leave here. You're going to have to go to America. So now we're housing, taking care of, feeding illegal immigrants while there are still hungry, homeless Americans. So at some point as a black person, you have to open your mind. Let's stop being the prisoners and the prison guards at the same time. You know, you can't protect the people that's doing the shit to you. You do research. Tell me what you like about Kamala other than the fact that she's a black woman president. Tell me, have you done your research? I don't think you have. Because if you did do some research, you will see that between the two candidates that we have, Donald Trump and Kamala ain't got nothing on Trump. His policies, how he's saying he's going to do it, he's telling you exactly where money is going to come from, how he's going to do what he's doing. And it's all to make America move forward. We are not moving forward. We are doing bad right now. So y'all do your research. Because guess what? Hater, hey. Bitch, I would love to vote for the first black woman president. But I want her to represent us well. And I want her to do a good job. And right now, they are not doing a good job. And that's why I switched from Democrat to Republican. And that...
In my short time in Washington, I've seen firsthand how the system is broken. A small group of failed voices who think they know everything and understand everyone want to tell everybody else how to live and what to do and how to think. But you aren't going to let other people tell you what you believe, especially when you know that you're right. You must go forth into the world and turn your hopes and dreams into action. America has always been the land of dreams because America is a nation of true believers. When the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth, they prayed. When the founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, they invoked our Creator 4 times. Because in America, we don't worship government, we worship God. Remember this, nothing worth doing ever came easy. Following your convictions means you must be willing to face criticism from those who lack the same courage to do what is right, and they know what is right, but they don't have the courage to take it and to do it. The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. Embrace that label. Being an outsider is fine. Embrace the label. Because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. I've seen so many brilliant people. They gave up in life. They were totally brilliant. They were top of their class. They were the best students. They were the best of everything. They gave up. I've seen others who really didn't have that talent or that ability, and they're among the most successful people today in the world because they never quit and they never gave up. So just remember that. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for the people who care about you. Carry yourself with dignity and pride. Demand the best from yourself and be totally unafraid to challenge entrenched interests and failed power structure.
Thank you. This is Ron, your host, the only true conservative in the United States today, bidding adios to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there and reminding you that you are not neutral and that the government has no rights.